Rachel didn't know about this. Oh, it was off? Okay. If you young guys want to know what a up-and-coming good mom looks like, right there. Right there she is. Okay, next picture. Those are two really good moms right there. That's Rachel's mom, for whoever doesn't know. Yeah, okay, go ahead to the next picture. And that's my mom. She's a sweetheart. And look, Dad's behind her. You know, they say behind every good man is a good woman, right? I think behind every good woman, there's a good man. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Well, this is a bittersweet day. There's people there's ladies that want to be moms and they can't seemingly become pregnant. There's people that have lost their moms, and there's people that become pregnant and they don't want to be pregnant. They don't want to be moms. They abort their babies. And it's a tragedy. And it's hard. I can't tell you for sure lately, it seems like it's an extreme amount of women trying to become pregnant, and they lose their babies. You know, I just have to, I'm not a conspiracy theory, but I feel like there's something that they're putting in our foods or drinks or something that is causing the problem. It's just my opinion. I don't have proof of it, but so, you know, I'm gonna start with my mom. You know, and the thing I love about moms is the heart that comes out of a mom, and how that moms are actually created. If everything is right, it's very loving, very nurturing, very kind, compassionate. They stick up, they cover over their children. The Bible says that love covers a multitude of sin. I can't tell you how many times I've seen shows of people that have done horrible things, and the first place they go to is their mom, and their mom tries to cover them and tries to, you could say that's whatever you want to, but I think it's because of love, because they love them. It's just a natural thing to cover them, to protect them, to make them not look bad, and to raise them up to be. That's all a natural thing. It's all natural. And when things get screwed up, is, the way I like to say it is, God put everything that He created, and sometimes we're like, why doesn't He do something about some of these things? He could easily just stop, sexual abuse, abortions, and all this stuff. He literally could do this. But see, this is what He did. When He created everything, and then He did His thing. He came down and He made a way for all of us to enter the kingdom of heaven. And He set it all up that if it works naturally, if everything is in order, like our bodies, it works. It's awesome. The trees, they give out seed and they grow back up. Unless somebody goes in with a bulldozer and just destroys everything, then it won't happen. So this is the stuff that happens in us. If we don't, and I'm telling you, the very first thing that we were created to do, right out of the garden, was to have a relationship with God. And if you don't have that, the thing is screwed up. They're just not going to function the way that they're supposed to. And that is our job. So that's what we're doing today. Like in church here, you might ask, well, what's the point of going to church and all this? Well, this is supposed to be a place where we get together and we encourage each other, we remind each other to be stirred up that you are the workers. We're the workers. We're supposed to be working for the Lord to try to help people to get this thing right, to get connected with God. There's really nothing else. There's a gazillion things in the Bible that you can pick out and say, well, you're not allowed to do this, and you have to do this, and you're not allowed to do that, and you're wrong by doing that, and you're wrong by doing this, you should be doing this. But really, what we need is a relationship with Jesus Christ, because he's the one that comes in and sets things straight. And I don't care what you've been through. I really don't care. I care what you've been through, but it doesn't matter what you've been through. He can fix it. But if you choose to sit and wallow in it, you won't get out of it. It's our decision what we're going to do with the way we were treated. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. My mom is the sweetest mom that, well, I'm not going to say she's the sweetest mom in the world. She's the sweetest mom I ever had, I'll tell you that. And I put her through hell. I literally did. And I'm so sorry. When I look back, I didn't care at the time. I literally didn't care. I would have just as soon, have her just leave me alone. Stop bothering me. But I remember when I was a teenager, I didn't come home till 2 o'clock in the morning sometime. I was out doing things. So I can only imagine how I would feel if my kids would be doing the things I was doing. But it never failed. When I came home, it didn't matter what time. She was sitting at the window that was pointed up north towards 250, and she could see cars coming down towards our house. And she'd sit there until all of us were home. And we had 5 boys and 2 girls, and all of us were just a bunch of idiots at one time. I'm not kidding. We put mom, I can't. And my mom she was not perfect, but I'm telling you what, nobody ever questioned the love. She loved us. And, having 5 boys, Dad was on stay away a lot. A lot of times he wasn't there, which I highly recommend you guys not to do. If there's no other job available, I'm not saying you can't do it for a season, but if you're a husband and a father, you need to be a part of your kids. But she raised us. We had 5 boys and 2 awesome twins packed in there. It's me. And I'm sure that didn't help. So she had 5 boys within, what was it? We were born every 2 years. She had more kids, and ended up having 2 girls at the end. But we gave her a run for her money. But the thing that I want to really point out about her is and I don't want to. She still was a good mom. Okay, she cared for me, but she had wrong thinking. And this is what I want to bring out: is some of you have moms that you don't agree with, okay? And they may not be perfect. They may be battling sin. They may be battling what they believe in, and they may not be as good as you are. Can I say that? But your job is to honor her and to respect her as your mom. And my mom, I remember when we got born again, I would have expected, that she would cheer for me, that she would cheer us on and be excited for us. But instead, she was sad, and she felt like we're veering off and we're losing our salvation, that we're going down a bad road. And I remember I was very hurt by that for a long time. And I judged her. I was upset with her. I was kind of mad at her. And one day I figured out that my job is to love her and not to judge her in any way. And I started just loving her the way she is, and I decided I'm not going to come against her. My job is not to change her. My job is to be who I am called to be. And that's all our jobs. We are really responsible for ourselves. And today, I can honestly, it took about 3 years of that. Something happened with my mom. I honestly believe God showed her salvation. And this morning, I sent her a text wishing her a happy Mother's Day. And she texted me back. She said, I just want to thank you for walking out your salvation to the best of your knowledge. That you're living out what you believe. And that just blessed the socks off of me. And I'm telling you, when we get together, I always get a hug and a kiss from my mom. And I've never seen her hug and kiss the other boys. Maybe. I just haven't seen it. I think I'm special. But anyway, I love my mom. And I'm going to encourage all of you to respect your mom. She's the one that brought you into this world. And she's the one, I don't care if she didn't do everything right, that she may have done some horrible things. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, if you don't respect your mom, you don't feel like you want to spend time with her, I wish you would find somebody that don't have their mom. And just take them out for coffee and just talk to them and see what they have to say. Because I bet they could talk you into spending more time with your mom. Because they're precious. And even if they are not, see, here's the thing that I feel like the gospel is supposed to do to us. It's supposed to get us to stop worrying or stop being affected by how people treat you. That's not our job. Our job is not to be affected how people treat us. Our job is to treat people Christ-like, to love people. That's our job. And we can sit and make excuses. And if you're allowed to make excuses for how people treat you, and now therefore out of the grave and back into heaven. That's why we have life today. That was to set an example for us. And so that's what we need to do. We need to respect our moms and all those that we live with. But today is special. It's Mom's Day. So Proverbs 23:25 says, "May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave birth be joyful." So is the person that gave birth to you, is she joyful with you today? And I think some of us might think that, you know what, I don't have my mom anymore, and I don't know, I wish she was here so she could see. I would like to say, I think she sees you. I think she sees you. I think she knows. I think she would be very proud of you. And I think that the last thing you should do is act out because she's not here anymore. I think this is a really, really good time to make your mom proud. So don't wait and don't think it's over. Don't think that, I don't have my mom. No, be your absolute best and think about it. She knows, she sees you. She can know everything that's going on. I really do believe that. I'll tell you the truth. I've seen people that families, moms or dads, have passed away, and just years after that, the whole family just starts one after another just coming to Christ. You guys ever see that? I've seen that multiple times. And it just makes me wonder what their ability is, what they can actually do. Makes me wonder. I don't know. We'll all know someday, right? Ephesians 6:1-3. James kind of ruined it for me this morning. It's okay. "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth." Now, so that was a big one for us. So we were taught that we have to obey mom and dad no matter what. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about that. So there's things that I thought was right that my kids are actually bringing to light that I was wrong in. And I think all of us parents can say that. But the critical part isn't that you aren't perfect as a parent. The critical part is that you treat your parents with respect as you see things that they may not have seen. And that's what I can say about my kids. They've brought things into my life that I was changed. I had to change in. But they were very respectful. They were very respectful. And I respect them for that. I'm very, very thankful for that. So these are things. So now I always say this. Children, obey your parents. If you're a little child, if you can hear me, you need to obey your parents. You need to learn. I don't even care really if they're wrong or right. Doesn't matter. Your job is to obey them. If you can't obey your parents, okay, even if they're wrong, you are under them. They're over you. They're your guardian, okay? And you're learning how to submit. And if you can't submit to your parents, how are you going to submit to your boss? If you think that you're right and you can tell your parents what to do, too bad the kids aren't out here. But anyway, then your boss will tell you something to do, and you'll tell him off too. You'll think you're right. And so you need to learn. That's a good learning time for you to submit yourself under authority. Everybody has to be under authority. We're all under authority. So that's why children obey your parents. It says in the Lord, but even so, I always say, obey your parents. Now, then it says, honor your father and your mother. That's respect. Respect. That's actually what honor means. Respect your father and your mother, which is the first commandment, actually. Honor your father and mother. With a promise. It's the first one with a promise. So he promised that you'll have long life. Now, because if you die young or you have a sickness that you're going to not have a long life, does that mean you're not respecting your mom and dad? No, that's not what I'm saying. But if that is something that I feel like is very important it literally says that so that you have a long life and you have a joyful life, respect your parents. And now, I have seen people. I don't know. Is this just because who I am? I kind of open myself up for people to come share with me. I love to sit with people and hear their stories and things like that. But I get a lot of negative stories too. A lot of people come to me and they try to tell me stories, and the way they're starting to say it, they start saying it very graphically. Like how horrible they're treated and how bad the people are that are mistreating them or whatever. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You can do that and I'll listen to you. But while you're saying it, I'm thinking about how I can turn this thing around. I'm thinking how I can get you to start looking at it just a little bit different. That maybe you are the one that's called to bring life to them. Even if it's your coworker. There's coworkers, a lot of people that work with people that think that they just absolutely cannot go on. And so I hear these horrible stories about how they're treated and how horrible they're treated and all this. And I'm not disrespecting you in any way. I want to hear it. But just so you know, I'm going to try to turn it around and let you see that that's your mission field. It's a perfect place for you to share the gospel. So we take the scriptures and we twist them. And the thing that I've seen, if I read the book, you can make the Bible literally say whatever you want to. You can take it and just twist it a little bit or just put a little different angle on it or whatever. I mean, that's why we have all these religions. That's why we have all these. Why isn't it just the Christians? But we have how many different Christian religions? People that call themselves Christians, but yet we don't commune together. We really don't agree with each other at all. And it all comes out of a truth in the Bible. So I heard this saying one time. It said, so listen to how I say it. It says, woman without a man is hopeless. Okay? So there it sounds clearly like if a woman doesn't have a man, she's hopeless. But listen, if you just put the commas in the right place, it says, woman without a man is hopeless. See that? It's the exact same words, but you take them and you just put the commas and you say it a little different. It says the exact opposite. So here's the thing that I get out of reading the Bible. You can make it say whatever you want. I've heard numerous religions. And I remember one time when we first became born again, we probably had 30 different churches, people come to our house, and like we're for sale, and they want to sign us up. And we always told them, we're not for sale, so we just tell them straight up. We knew what they wanted. They wanted us to come to their church. They were all Christians. But they wanted us to come here, they wanted us to come here, they wanted us to come here. And the funny thing is, there was probably about 4 of them that literally told you that we are the only church. You have to be in this church or you're not going to make it to heaven. And so to me, that was very funny. The first one, it was I was like, ooh, wow, well, maybe they're right. But then when the second one came around, I was like, wait a minute. Something's going to be wrong here, man. But all this stuff drove me into the Word to know that, you know what, you really can't trust people. The Bible actually says, let every man be a liar and let God be true. Okay? So you need to find out what the Word is saying. But here's what I'm saying. The Word says that we are to respect our parents, and it doesn't say, in my opinion, from cover to cover, it says you are supposed to love and respect your parents in all things, but now you can take things, and again, I have people coming to me saying, well, this is the truth. So what we do, and I did it, we were split from our parents. We were like very disrespectful to our parents because a truth that we found in the Bible. See, we twisted it, and we're like, but we stumbled right over love, and we stumbled right over respect to prove this truth, and the Bible never says it. Never says, well done, because you proved that you were right. I don't even get that reading it from the Bible, from the cover to cover, the Bible. But if I read it cover to cover and I stand back and I look at it, what I get out of it is my job is to love. And now I know that I've heard it many times. Well, that's a cheap gospel. No, it isn't. That's the roughest gospel that you've ever hear in your life. I've seen people that they'll do. I'm not saying this just because this happened to me. This happens all over the world. I'm telling you, people separate and split and hate each other because of the Word of God. Because they're not rightly dividing the word of truth. And they'll pick out a certain truth, a certain thing, and blow it up and look over love. And the reason I'm saying all this, because I believe moms do an awesome job in doing that. They literally they look over, and a lot of people will say, I too don't encourage you to not train your kids, of course not. But it's the deep love in the mom's heart to protect a child. And sometimes the way they go about it, we look at it as almost like our enemy. I felt like my mom was my enemy for a long time. She's about this big. I'm not kidding. She's literally, and she straightened us all out. Every last one of us. I remember one time she told me to go, she'd make us go get a switch or get a whip or something to get a beating. Any of your moms do that? What? Are you kidding me? Crazy moms. Why would they do that? So one time, I went out, and Irvin and I were studying how we going to do this. And so we went out on a tree, and we found this little switch, this long, and then we decided we're going to leave some leaves on it. And we're like, because it's not going to hurt. It was a real thin little thing. And we left a bunch of leaves on the front. It just goes to show how much foresight we had. And she took that thing. We went in there and gave her the switch, and she took the thing, and she looked at us, she goes like this. And we were like, oh, no. Oh, we were in for it, man, big time. But discipline from your, so moms, I encourage you, don't spare the rod on your children. You're not going to hurt them. The Bible literally says you're not going to hurt them. They need spanked. They need their butts spanked. And nowadays, that's an evil word. That's a bad word. No. I'm telling you what, the happiest kids are the ones that have the most discipline in their life. And I'm not talking about abusive, okay? There's a big difference between abuse and discipline. There's a complete difference. But I also am going to tell you that I know a family that was raised, that was just right down the road from us. We went to school with them and everything, and they were borderline abused. And actually, they were abused at some times. But they all turned out, I think, if not all of them, real close to every one of them is born-again believers in Jesus Christ, and they love their parents today. So here's what I get out of that. There's also a difference. I mean, we do make mistakes, and we do need to be open as parents to know how to discipline our kids out of love. Okay, but the heart is what matters. Again, the heart. I believe this person had love for his kids, and he really had concerns about his kids. And so the way he went about it was too rough. It was too much. But on the other hand, just the concern that he had about it is, I think, what actually motivated. I don't know. Did God, because of that, he answered his prayers and he brought all his children to the Lord? Now, I don't know if he would agree with everything that they're doing, but I know that they're with the Lord. So I've seen people lay down their lives because of the Word of God. And I've seen people take the Word of God and fight with people. Love people and hate people. I've seen it all. I've seen all these different actions. So, I'm not going to take too much time because I'm sure everybody's got good plans for today. And we're going to have a big party at home for the mom. We're going to celebrate Mom. And but I just want to, if you guys want to come up to sing the last song. I think if I want to, what's that? Oh yeah, thank you. I think what I want to really encourage all of us to do is, whether you have your mom, if you have your mom, reach out to her and show her love. Lay down your life and humble yourself and thank her for what she's done. And she does 1,000 things. She's done 1,000 things for you that you may never have seen. But I think it's just so important, and it goes on from there. It goes to your neighbors and to all your loved ones, that you would show love and compassion to them and know that your kindness and your actions can change people. And because it has changed my mom to have a relationship with us, and where it was very tough. For 3 years, we didn't even talk. I mean, it was really, really bad. But love broke down that wall. And what you can have just the low music, and I want Rachel to come read something. You can come now.
Okay, somebody shared this with me today to share with you guys, and it's really good. It's about mothers. Arise, mother. It matters not whether you first called you mama from the cradle of your own body, or whether heaven placed them into your arms another way. It matters not if your babies are sleeping down the hall, scattered across grown-up homes, carried in your prayers, or waiting for you on the other side of eternity. Arise, you who have labored in birth, you who have labored in prayer. Arise, you who have rocked babies that did not share your blood, but became your own through love. Arise, foster mother. Arise, adoptive mother. Arise, grandmother, raising another generation with weary hands and holy grit. Arise, spiritual mother, carrying souls in intercession. Arise, woman who has buried a child and still somehow finds breath in your lungs. Arise, mother with empty arms and a heart full of love that still has nowhere earthly to land. Arise, do not believe the lie that motherhood is measured only by stretch marks and birth certificates. No, motherhood is deeper than flesh. It is the fierce God-given instinct to protect what heaven entrusts to you. It is the willingness to pour yourself out so another might live. It is standing watch at midnight. It is fighting unseen wars in prayer while everyone else sleeps. It is wiping tears with one hand while hiding your own with the other. It is carrying burdens no one applauds. It is nurturing life in barren places. It is refusing to let darkness devour what God has placed under your care. Arise, mother. The world has grown cold. Children are starving for truth. Homes are being ravaged by confusion. The enemy is after minds, hearts, innocence, identity, purity, purpose, generations. And now is not the hour for mothers to sleep at the gate. This is the hour to rise. Rise with scripture in your mouth. Rise with oil on your head. Rise with fire in your spirit. Rise with trembling knees if you must, but rise nonetheless. Rise in prayer of the prodigal. Rise and speak life over the anxious child. Rise and war for the addicted son. Rise and cover the wandering daughter. Rise and nurture the broken. Rise and stand in the gap for the orphaned, the abandoned, and forgotten. Rise, mother. There is too much at stake to remain silent. Too much at stake to remain distracted. Too much at stake to remain passive while hell reaches for what God has called precious. You were not created merely to survive motherhood. You were called to glory, carry glory into generations. Heaven sees every unseen sacrifice, every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, every seed planted in tears. God has not overlooked your labor of love, so arise. Arise with tears streaming if necessary. Arise exhausted. Arise uncertain. Arise carrying wounds. Arise carrying promises. Arise carrying hope, but arise. Because generations are connected to your obedience, because somebody needs the strength God has placed inside of you, because there are children who need nurturing, prodigals who need intercession, homes that need rebuilding, young women who need mentoring, broken hearts that need mothering. Arise, mother, not weak, not forgotten, not insignificant, but clothed in strength and dignity, chosen by God to shape eternity one soul at a time.